How are you?
Man, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, that's what I meant, man. Both of them. I meant yes, sir.
Again, Mama How are you?
Great. I know.
Welcome families, friends, and fellow Scouts. Today we will celebrate an Eagle Scout Double Court of Honor. To reach this rank is a feat of achievement. Only a small percentage of Scouts who start the scouting journey actually reach the rank of Eagle. Today we recognize two young men who have proven that they have the character to lead. I would like to call forward the Scouts of Troop 150 to present the colors.
May everybody please rise and show the flag. Scouts, attention. Color guard, attention. Color guard, forward, march. Color guard, halt. Color guard, present the colors. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. If you have Scout uniforms, Scout salute, or right hand over your heart if you don't. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
2. Color guard, be formed. Color guard, forward, march. Color guard, dismiss. You may be seated.
I'd now like to call forward our Scouts to present the 12 points of the Scout Law.
Scout is trustworthy. The Scout tells the truth. He or she keeps their promises. Honesty is the best part of his or her code of conduct.
Scout is loyal. A Scout is true to his or her family, friends, Scout leaders, school, nation, and world community.
Scout is helpful. A Scout is concerned about other people, or she does things willingly for other Scouts without pay or reward.
A Scout is friendly. A Scout is a friend to all. He or she is a brother or sister to other Scouts.
A Scout is courteous. A Scout is polite to everyone regardless of age or position. He or she knows that good manners make it easier for people to get along.
Scout is kind. A Scout understands that there is strength in being gentle. He or she treats others as they want to be treated.
A Scout is obedient. A Scout follows the rules of his or her family, school, and troop. He or she obeys the law of their community and country.
A Scout is cheerful. A Scout looks on the bright side of things. He or she does tasks that come their way without whining and tries to make others happy.
Scout brings to big their own way and helps others. He or she saves the future, protects
Scout is clean. A Scout keeps the body and mind fit and clean. He or she goes around with those who believe in living by these same ideals.
A Scout is reverent. A Scout is reverent towards God. He or she is faithful in their religious duties and respects the belief of others.
Thank you, Scouts. The trail to Eagle is long. For Brian and Tomer, it started when they were Cub Scouts, doing things like Pinewood Derby cars and, doing little crafts and stuff to help satisfy those requirements. As soon as they advanced, they learned how to tie knots and pitch tents, moving on to high adventure stuff and, ultimately culminating in the requirements of Eagle rank, which require service to community and others. Brian's project is kind of unique. He saw a need in our local community, food insecurity and personal care needs that were going unmet in Elizabeth City. And he stepped forward to make a blessings box that is a permanent resource to those in need. So I'd like to take a few moments to say some additional things about Brian. I first met Brian about 7 years ago when I entered Cub Scouting, both him and his family. Donnie at that time was resurrecting the pack, which was about to collapse. And Brian was there helping out, cooking hot dogs, and just being a general servant to others. It was at that point that I knew Brian was a natural scout because of his willingness to serve. He continued to serve the Cub Scout pack. A lot of scouts go on with their Boy Scouting career, but Brian stayed and became a Den Chief and ultimately won the Den Chief Award, so we're very proud of him for that. Over the years, I've watched Brian become the kind of scout that others naturally gravitate towards. He is currently consistently the first to be a new friend to a new scout when they walk in the door. He always lends a hand to a scout that's in need. For example, if they're having trouble setting up their tent, he's always the first to say, "Let me help you out." Brian leads a life of true service, especially to those less fortunate. At our troop meetings, we always go over good turns. And I hear a lot of, "I held the door open," or "I picked up trash." But Brian's good turns are different. He always spoke about identifying people in need and giving them money out of his own pocket or buying them a meal. This ultimately culminated in that blessings box that I talked about that is helping the people of Elizabeth City with food and personal hygiene product needs. To be completely honest, I thought that Brian would probably go into social work, given his propensity of helping others. So I was a little bit surprised when I found out that Brian is pursuing a career in engineering. But I have absolutely no doubt that he will use those engineering talents to build, design, and innovate new ways to help those in need. Brian is a young man of great Christian faith. His character is rock solid. And all the years that we've spent in the woods around campfires and other projects, I've never heard him say a single cuss word. We, however, have heard him say, many times. As Brian searches for the correct words while leading his scouts. He truly lives his life by the 3 points of the Scout Oath, which include duty to God, duty to others, and duty to self. He just doesn't recite the 12 points of the Scout Law. He embodies them in his daily life. Brian is an absolute pleasure and privilege to work with. He has put in the work, shown the character, and truly earned the rank of Scout. Having walked the same path to Eagle myself back in the early 1990s, I know exactly what it takes. And I know that like so many Eagle Scouts before you, you're going to do great things in your life. But your journey does not end here today. I want to encourage you to remain active in scouting. There's always the next summit to climb, the next person to help. And there's additional awards at the National Eagle Scout Association Awards, such as the Outstanding Eagle Scout Award and the Distinguished Eagle Scout Award. I want to congratulate Brian. We are all very incredibly proud of you. Next, I want to speak about Tomer's project. Tomer's project focused on education and comfort. The NEAT school, which I'm a member of the board of, was building a pathway with a canopy, and it would kind of serves as a natural connector between two buildings. But they had no place for youth that maybe wanted to spend some time outdoors when they were traversing the path. Tomer saw that need, and he was able to construct benches and install them along that path at NEAT for the students to gather and learn. So I'd like to, at this point, call up Donnie to say, my assistant scoutmaster, to say a few words about Tomer's journey to Eagle.
First of all, I'd like to say that in preparation for this, I called his mother and asked him, could I list some of the accomplishments he had at school? And the response I got was, no, I can't do that. That he didn't want us to talk about any of that. So I'm not going to do that today, but what I'm going to say is I've attended, these two boys, I'll say this, these two boys have both graduated from high school and graduated from college in the same week. To give you the numbers, 1 in 75 kids in America do that. 1 in 134 kids becomes an Eagle Scout. I'm sorry, I'm a mess. I love Tomer. Not as much as his mom and dad, I'm sure, but I love him. Since he likes to be humble, approximately, when I was looking at this little flyer here, I'm not allowed to speak of his accomplishments, but they have little, I won't tell you what they are, but they have little notations next to his name at his graduation. There's 8 for him. There's only 2 on this list that have 8. Okay, but I'm going to cut him a break and make him feel insignificant and say we're going to include about 5 or 6 that had 7. Okay, but if we figure it 5, and there's 25,000 schools in America, okay, then that would mean that approximately 128,000 kids have made it to where Tomer's at, like as a student. So just to give you an idea. So where's he at? Do you feel insignificant now? You're one of 128,000. So he likes to be humble, so I'm trying to help him be humble a little bit. Okay, but the things that are great about him. The things that are great about him are not embodied by what he's done in school. They're embodied by the kind of person that he is. In the last 2.5 years, he's worked for me. He's been around people that have lied, cussed, smoked, caused a ruckus. Some idiot forgot he left the truck in reverse and the truck backed up and hit something. He has worked in the snow, the rain, under tight crawl spaces, dug concrete. So I guess this is my chance to apologize to his mother and father. I'm sorry about that. But through all of that, what I've seen is a maturity above his age. The world doesn't need more. The world doesn't need more leaders that are just smart and accomplished. We need more leaders that are humble and moral, and that's who he is. Because I like to irritate everybody that's here, I'll take this opportunity to beat up the committee, because when my first son Vincent went for his Eagle, they told me I shouldn't send out any letters for the letters he's supposed to get to apply for his Eagle Scout. The reason I'm saying something about it is because when Tomer went to go get his Eagle Scout, he made a letter, and he told me in minute detail what needed to be in the letter, what I should include, who I should address, how high, tall, and fat should it be, and he gave that to me and said, go ahead and read this and make sure you turn the letter, make sure it looks just like this. So I'm going to end by reading the letter I wrote. All right. I've known Tomer for 10 years. I've been his den leader, his part-time employer, and his assistant scoutmaster. Tomer shows leadership at all times and a positive attitude, a can-do attitude that is beyond his years. Several years ago, I donated money to the Scouts to help clean up my trailer. And after just a few minutes, I saw that when the others had quit and given up, Tomer was still there, working to make sure the job was complete. A Scout is trustworthy. As his employer, I've seen this over and over again. Through the years, never a negative comment about jobs or others around him. Even when adults act badly or jobs are hard or even dirty, he continues with a positive attitude, positive and steadfast attitude. He sees the best in others. He handles bad situations with grace and kindness and never a negative word about anyone. A Scout is kind. He is a role model not to just younger Scouts, but to the other adults that he's been around. He exemplifies what it means to live out the Scout oath and law. I wholeheartedly recommend Tomer for Eagle Scout. It has been a privilege to know him and to watch him grow. As an employer, I would recommend him to anyone wanting an intelligent, trustworthy, hardworking employee with a positive attitude. Thank you so much.
Before we move forward with the Eagle Charge and the awarding of the Eagle rank, I'd like to correct a error that I made earlier on. I'd like to call forth Jonathan Snoots from Town South to offer us a prayer.
Let's pray. God, I'm grateful for this organization, the many workers that put forth a lot of volunteer hours to invest in young people. God, I'm grateful for the two young men that have worked very hard through the years to accomplish so much. Lord, I pray blessing over their life. Continue from here that they remember the things they taught to become young men worthy of being followed, that they do a good job of pointing people to your Son Jesus in all that they do. Again, God, we're grateful for your many blessings, and we ask your blessing on both of them. It's through your Son's name I pray. Amen. Amen.
At this time, we'd like to take a moment to recognize our scouts. First, I'd like to, for all the Eagle Scouts that are in the room, please stand to be recognized. Now I would ask that all scouts, past and present, regardless of rank, please stand to be recognized. Thank you. Will Tom or Brian please come forward? Just in front of the table, please. Tom or Brian, I have the honor to give you the Eagle Scout charge on the occasion of your elevation to the highest rank in scouting. The Boy Scouts of all nations constitute one of the most wholesome and significant movements in the world history. We have been counted worthy of this, you have been counted worthy of this high rank in the Boy Scouts of America. All who know you rejoice in your achievement. Your position, as you well know, is one of honor and responsibility. You are a marked man. As an Eagle Scout, you have assumed the solemn obligation to do your duty to God and country, to your fellow scouts, and to mankind in general. This is a great undertaking. As you live up to your obligations, you bring honor to yourself and to your brother scouts. Your responsibility goes beyond your fellow scouts, to your country and to God. America has many good things to give you and your children and the children after you. But these things depend, for the most part, on the quality of its citizens. Our country has had a great past. You are here to make the future greater. I charge you to undertake your citizenship with solemn dedication. Be a leader, but lead only forward, only lead towards the best. Lift up every task you do and every office you hold to the higher level and to the service of God and your fellow man. So live and serve that these who know you will be inspired to the finest level of living. We have too many who use their strength and their intellect to exploit others or to gain to selfish ends. I charge you to be amongst those who dedicate their skills and ability to the common good. Build America on a solid foundation of clean living, honest work, unselfish citizenship, and reverence to God. Whatever others may say or may do, you leave behind you a record of which every scout should be justly proud. Tomer, do you accept this charge? Brian, do you accept this charge? On behalf of the Court of Honor of Troop 150, the Tidewater Council of Boy Scouts of America, and with the high hope that you will always represent the finest character of citizenship, we welcome you into the Brotherhood of Eagle Scouts and congratulate you and your parents and your scout leaders. I'll now ask that the American Legion come forward, who is our charter organization, and make a special presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, honored guests, fellow members of the American Legion, it is with great pride and deep appreciation that I stand before you today to thank Troop 150 for their continued partnership in our community. Since the very first National Convention in 1919, the American Legion stood with Scouts, affirming that, quote, the principles and achievements of the Scouts are commendable, end quote, and that each post should assist Scout troops in any practical way. Over the past 12 years, your troop has embodied that spirit of service leadership, and citizenship. From the very first scout to earn the Eagle rank to the countless young men who have grown into responsible, compassionate leaders, your troop has been a source of inspiration. You have taught the Scout oath and Scout law, not just in words, but in action, through community service, leadership roles, and the dedication shown in every project. Your work has strengthened our neighborhoods, mentored future leaders, and upheld the values of integrity, loyalty, and self-improvement that the American Legion holds dear. To the Scoutmasters aides, and every volunteer who has given time, energy, and heart to your troop, thank you. Your commitment has made a lasting difference in the lives of the Scouts you serve. May your troop continue to soar, guided by the principles of Scouting and the enduring partnership between the American Legion and Scouts. Thank you, Troop 150, for your service, your dedication, and your role in shaping the next generation of leaders. At this time, I'm going to present the Good Citizenship Citation, and it reads, American Legion Good Citizenship Citation awarded who has attained the rank of Eagle Scout. May 23rd, 2026, attested by the adjutant and myself, commander of the post. R. Silva. Brian Denny.
I'd now like to call for Tamara Blake, our committee chair, and Jackie Saunders, our advancement chair, to present the Eagle Scout Award.
We would like to invite parents up to stand next to our Eagle Scouts. As a part of their Eagle Awards, there are several pins. We have the mother pin, the dad pin, the mentor pin, the Eagle pin, and the Eagle badge. We are going to first have our Scouts pin their mothers for all the support and appreciation for them. And for the appreciation of all the support for their fathers, please pin your fathers. Brian, do you have a mentor that you would like to pin today?
I will pin Jonathan Stevens.
Jonathan, come on up. Brian, is there anything you'd like to say about Mr. Stevenson, my mentor?
I just like to say Jonathan Stevens is a great example of a Christian. He's a great Christian leader. And to this alone. Everybody's super nice and just a great example.
Summer, do you have a mentor you would like to pen?
Yeah, I would love Dave Turcotte. Come on up.
Is there anything you would like to say about your mentor, Dave?
Yes, obviously I had a bunch of different scout leaders throughout my journey, starting off with, Joe Fuller throughout my journey and different scout leaders who, helped me throughout my time. But Dave Turcotte was there for me in some of the most important years that I would consider my life of growing up. And one of the most important things was going to summer camp, and he was there for me, and I always look up to him for somebody that I wanted to become.
And next, would the mothers come and pen the eagle pen? The shirts are thick. All right, next comes the eagle neckerchief. We will remove the previous troop neckerchief and replace it with the eagle. And also on the table, they have their cards that they can keep in their wallet showing that they are Eagle Scouts. As well as their letter from Scouting America showing that they are Eagle Scouts. And they also have their certificates, so please make sure after the ceremony is over, come take a look at the table to see all of the awards that they've been given. Congratulations.
I'd now like to invite Brian and Tomer to come on stage to offer a short personal speech and reflections on your journey to Eagle.
Hello. I appreciate you all coming here today. I would like to say that so many people, from my parents, my family, to Scoutmasters and fellow Scouts, have helped me immensely on my path to Eagle. Thank you. I couldn't have done it without you. Tying knots, navigating the wilderness, and leading a group are valuable skills I'll take from this experience, just to name a few. Scouting is one aspect of my life, but there is a larger portion of my life. It's very important and something I, unfortunately, don't share as much as I should. That part of my life is my faith. Without a doubt, there is nothing in my life that gives me more purpose than following Jesus. And as I stand here today, I don't think there is anything more valuable that I can leave to you than to say that if you're not a Christian, I encourage you, strive to turn away from sin and toward Jesus. And what does turning toward Jesus look like? Well, in the book of Matthew, according to Jesus, whoever wants to be my disciples must deny themselves, take up their cross, and follow me. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life will save it. Nobody's perfect, not a single person. But I think that's one of the greatest things about following God. We're not following ourselves. We're not even following other people. We're following the one person who got it right, Jesus Christ. Thank you.
Now, I don't know how to follow that up very well. I didn't write something like as amazing as Brian did, but I'll just kind of think of something on the spot here. So my scouting journey has kind of been a crazy experience, and I can tell by just looking out in the audience, from family members to past scoutmasters to any mentors that I've had over the course of my scouting journey, I could say that every single person played an important role. And being here with Brian is really kind of emotional sometimes for me, because we really started at the bottom rank of Cub Scout, which I don't even remember what it is by now, and we rose all the way through that and through Eagle Scout. And I've done a lot of different things over the course of my time while going through high school. As you might have heard, I've got a lot of different things, a lot of different awards, and scouting still played a major part of my life, even compared to things like soccer or robotics, because I really enjoyed the importance of scouting. And maybe just more than tying knots and learning different skills, it was the overall ability to pick up these different skills and apply them all in my life at different spots. So for example, maybe if it's something like the ability to lead other people that I learned from scouting, well, I take those abilities and I put them into the other parts of my life. So I really just want to say thank you to all the people that helped me throughout my journey, and it really just helped me form into a better person who I am today. Thank you.
Now we will have reflections from our communities, mentors, friends, and family about our two scouts. And if y'all want to have a seat rather than having to stand as all these people come up, that's would be fine. So I'd like to invite anybody who knows these two young men that has something to say about them to please come forward. We'd like to hear from as many of you as possible.
Tomer is my nephew, and ever since he came into our family, he's been a blessing and a gift. He's an old soul. He was a man before he could walk, I think, probably, in terms of the way he's treated other people in our lives, the way he's been encouraging not only to my sister and brother-in-law, but to all of the members of our family. I hear reports about him regularly. I live far away, so I don't get to see him as often as I'd like, but he is a man filled with deep kindness and an abiding love. And his life touches other people's lives. There's a power in that. He is undaunted by the challenges of life. I wish more of us were like that. He stands in the face of challenges and perseveres. I am proud to have him as my nephew and as an example in my own life. I can only hope that I will be as kind and as loving as Tomer as I age myself. What a gift you are, Tomer.
So if anybody feels more comfortable speaking at their seat, I can bring you the microphone if you don't, not a person that wants to get up on stage. Vincent.
Hello, everyone. So what I want to say about Brian and Tomer, you know, first and foremost, they're the pinnacle of what we call a scout, and they've been a good example to everybody, you know, and a lot of words were mentioned, you know, like they're a blessing having here on this earth. Like, you know, I want to point out for everybody, like, we all have something that Tomer and Brian all have. I just feel like they have the courage to show that light to other people. So I just want to thank Brian and Tomer for showing their light and giving us all permission to do the same thing. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I am here on behalf of Brian. Brian was pastor of Eastern Star Church in Elizabeth City, and it's Brian's blessing box that was put at our church. I met him through his father. They came over to do some work at the church for us, and Brian came and asked me about doing the blessing box. Well, our church's ministry is the homeless and everybody in the streets. So as I talked to him, and I found out that he was really serious about what he was doing. So I did, you know, kind of sit back a little bit and lay back a little bit to see if it was going through. But he has done an outstanding job. He has come back and checked on the box. Not only that, Brian left a nice size offering to the church, and we were so blessed to be able to fill the box back up 3 or 4 times, and we're still using those funds to fill it up. But as a young man, you don't meet very many young men who love Jesus Christ. And that was the part that drew me to Brian, was his love for the Lord. So thank you, Brian. We appreciate you, and congratulations. We pray that you go much farther. You and the young man, y'all go farther in life. But know this, keep Jesus first. God bless you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Mike Thomas. I'm a previous adult leader of Troop 150. I was Assistant Scoutmaster, and I had the honor and pleasure to be with these two gentlemen. Spent many years with them in summer camp. Each year in summer camp, the boys would earn nicknames, where we would observe them for a while and then come up with the idea. Now, this man was incredible. I mean, he just wanted to get into everything, and he wanted to learn as much as he possibly could. And he's the first person I ever saw that begged to have waiter duty at the galley. So, with his appetite for learning, we dubbed him Termite, because he devoured everything he dug into. And we're very proud of him, and I'm honored to see him today pin on eagle. And Brian, we observed him for a while, and he had his brother here too as a mentor along the way, who we dubbed Double V for Vicious Vinny. So naturally, when Brian came along, we dubbed him Double B for Brutal Brian. So again, I'm very honored to be here, and it is my pleasure to see you guys achieve the rank of Eagle. Congratulations.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tamara. I've been in many roles. I have been a parent, I have been treasurer, I have been scoutmaster, and I am now currently and remaining to be the committee chair for the troop. I have watched these boys grow and learn so much over the years, and they have been such joys. I just want to share a couple of memories. So one summer camp, Brian was doing wilderness survival, and he loved that merit badge so much. He would come back from his wilderness survival class, and he was building traps in our little camping. Like, he wanted to trap something. He was putting together what he was learning, and it was so great to see him really not only learn and enjoy it, but then put it into practice there on site. It was a fantastic time to see him do that. And in his scouting career, he is the embodiment of kind and courteous and helpful. Ever when there was a scout that needed a little extra attention, a little extra help, he was always there. He was always the one that we partnered with people who were maybe a little unsure of themselves when they were doing things, because we knew that he was going to bring them up. He was going to lead them with kindness, no judgment, and he really embodies that. And he's such a good example to everybody on how to be not only a good scout, but a good person and a fellow brother in Christ. Tomer, let me tell you about Tomer. Tomer is motivated. He does not let anything get in his way. He digs in, he sees what he needs to do, and he makes sure he has all the details on to get it done. One of the hardest merit badges to complete is the camping merit badge, because there's a couple of different adventures that you have to complete. And in our area, it's kind of hard to complete some of them because we just don't have the right kind of landscape for it. And one of those requirements that you can do is snow camp. And I believe you guys were going on the solar eclipse trip, right? Yeah. They were on their way going through the mountains and going all upstate to go on the solar eclipse, and they were van camping. And they had looked up the weather beforehand, and it was gonna snow wherever they were staying. And so he called me and he said, hey, it's gonna snow. Can I camp while we're here to get that requirement? I said, absolutely, do it. Send me a picture of your setup. Tell me how it was, and we'll get that marked off. And he sure did. Wasn't it 2 nights you slept in the snow in that tent? He was motivated. He loved it. He took that challenge on, and he always looked for opportunities. If we didn't have an opportunity already set up, he looked for his own and made sure that it met the marks so that he could get the requirements done that he needed, so that he could earn what he needed to earn to get to his goal of Eagle. And I'm so proud of you for all your hard work, your dedication, your communication point on. There's a lot of scouts that kind of like sit back and kind of wait for us to help push them. He was motivated from the beginning and all the way through the end. He is somebody to look up to and really encouraging in how to live your life. Thank you.
So I'll say just a few words. So my name's Joe, and I was a scoutmaster just as they were coming into the troop. So we didn't have a lot of overlap, or I didn't with Brian and Tomer. Just a few months, then I handed the reins off to Dave Turcotte. But what I will say is, I was a scoutmaster for the troop for a number of years, and also cub master. And I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of kids that you want to pull your hair out, and it's tough sometimes. But I'll tell you, only having overlap with them for a couple of months, very quickly you realize, God, I ain't got to worry about them. You do not have to pull your hair out with them, and boy, that was a blessing for at least the 3 or 4 months that I had them. So, and I think it was probably for the scoutmasters that followed me.
So Tomer, it was Tiger, but it was Tiger coming in with an orange scarf. So I had the privilege of being the cub master at some point in time, and to also be a den leader, to have these and some other familiar faces here as well, to watch these children grow and to become what they are today. And I was absolutely ecstatic when Donnie called me and said, would you also be a part of today's ceremony? So I'm absolutely blessed to be here and to see and to hear what fine gentlemen that they have become, and to know that I was a small part inserted into your life somewhere along the way. From those winter solstice to swimming in the lake, worried about what was under the water we couldn't see. And just to be a part of the ceremonies along the way and to watch you grow. So thank you all very much.
I'm Tomer's mom, but it has been such a privilege to watch Tomer and Brian grow up together.
They are the only remaining people who started out as Tigers together, and they continued all the way through, and it was just natural for them to decide that they wanted to do the Court of Honor together. They both graduated last night. Brian is just such a kind, gentle soul. He is a servant leader, and he has a very peaceful, gentle force about him. He really epitomizes all of the Scout law. Tomer, I could go on about you, but I'm not going to embarrass you. Today, I just want to focus on one really quick thing. A Scout is thrifty. Am I right?
Yes.
He has had that Scout shirt since he crossed over. And at that time, he was swimming in it. He was about this big. And he was like, Mom, I am going to get Eagle before I outgrow this shirt. So he is thrifty. We've never had to buy him another shirt, and I'm proud of him. So anyway.
All right, I'm trying to say something without being a blubbering mess. I'm sorry about that, but I love both of them. But I've said a lot of stuff about Tom, but I haven't said a lot about my own son. Was it summer camp before last? If you want to know what kind of character he has, he signed my son. For some reason, signed up for the mile swim. He worked on it. He swam all week, and he went to the mile swim, and came to the end of the week, and came to the time they were supposed to do it, and he got in the water, and they all started together. Well, Brian was the last one to come in. It took him forever. The thing, and I came in, I remember telling Donald about it. He said he must be a real a real athlete. Now, and I'm thinking to myself, no, he's not. He is not an athlete. As a matter of fact, it was just the year before that he passed the swim test to be able to swim in the deep end of the pool at camp. And I'm thinking to myself, and then, so if you know anything about my family, we don't go to the beach. We don't swim in pools. So from the year before that he had passed the swim test to the next year, the only time he swam was at camp. That was it. That's the only time he swam. And the boy signs up for the mile swim. I'm like, what are you doing? I just want to say that, stop. I've never been more proud of somebody that endured and made it to the end. He's not a great swimmer. He didn't have any of those things. But he never gives up. If I had to go to battle or be in a war, I'd want Brian in the foxhole with me, because he would never give up. That's it.
Hi everyone, my name is Turcotte, and I'm a crier. Everybody that knows me knows that. I have known Tomer and Brian since my boys joined Scouts. My boys aged out 2 years ago. I was the committee chairperson for the troop for a brief period of time. But most importantly, I knew them from a parent's perspective. And I want to say that I could not thank God anymore for giving my two boys friendships with both of you. You have influenced both of their lives in major ways. You've touched my life in a major way. And I'm thankful for the privilege of having been able to know both of you. It's been touched on today about both of you having servants' hearts, both of you being very motivated. I think the things that I see most in both of you is not only perseverance, but you both take initiative. I don't know many young adults, let alone when you guys were younger, who would take initiative the way both of you did and continue to do. You influence other people in a major way, and I am so excited to know that you are the future of this country, because that can't be said about every person that most of us know. And when I say that there's initiative, so the Scout motto is, the Scout is to be prepared, to always be prepared. And the funniest thing that I can remember with Brian, I don't know if you remember this moment, Brian, my sister and I still talk about this to this day. My father is the committee organization representative, and David Turcott was the scoutmaster at the time. And we would host some events at my parents' home. And I remember both of you were really little, and I think it was one of the first events we hosted at my dad's home. And you came in with a little rolling suitcase. You had your backpack, you had your sleeping bag, but you had a little rolling suitcase. And my sister was like, "Huh, he's got a lot of stuff for a scout." Like, I thought they kept everything kind of compact. And he turns around and he says, "I got my snacks. I'm prepared, I got my snacks." And then probably an hour later, he was passing out snacks out of his rolling suitcase to share with everybody there. And we already had a spread of food. And so a couple hours had gone by, and the kids were getting ready to go to bed for the night. And he comes through with a suitcase again, and he says, "Anybody need more snacks?" And my sister says, she's a third grade teacher, so she's pretty much seen and heard anything a young kid can say. And he turns around and he goes, "I'm prepared. I got my backup snacks." So I admire how both of you have always been, just how you've always been, period. The people that you are, the young men that you've grown into, and I'm excited to see everything that is in store for your futures. And on that note, it goes without saying that both of these young men come from amazing homes. I've had the privilege of knowing Ellen and Dave, and Tracy and Donnie. And these two young men are a product of their environment. And thank you for sharing them with us.
I'd like to invite up James Henry to give our closing prayer and a blessing of our meal.
Could we pray together? Lord, you see the potential in all of us. You love us all just the way we are, but you invite us into an ever-deepening revelation of who you made us to be. Some of us don't answer that call, and some of us do. We are so thankful that today we got to celebrate two young men whose lives reveal the character that you always hope and dream could be all of ours. We pray that your hand of blessing would be upon them, but the truth is it's already been there. It's already been bringing them to this moment, revealing who you were in their lives and who you are in their lives in the people that they are this day. Thank you for all who have guided and directed them, for all of those who are both their parents and extended family members, as well as leaders and teachers. We could go on. Lord, we are thankful for your presence in this room with us this day. The strength and the love you have given these young men and all of us. May we truly come to love you more deeply and live more fully as you would have us to live. We also ask that as we gather this day to continue this celebration, that you would bless the food we're about to eat, that it would strengthen us, that our fellowship together would be one of grace and encouragement and laughter, joy, the things that you give to us freely. We ask all of this in all of your many holy names, most especially in the name of your Son, Jesus. Amen.